doing good today? This is the review, a re-review for Ready to Love Season 3, Episode 4. My sound was messed up in my other review because I had my headphones plugged in, and so you couldn't hear me because it was recording from the mic on the headphones and not from my speakers on my computer. And I didn't want to re-record it, but I care about y'all, and I know y'all gonna want it done right. So I just went ahead and redid it. So let's go back to the notes, and hopefully I can do just as good of a job as I did on the other review. I do have a roommate now, so it's kind of tricky deciding when I'm going to record. I would have done it this morning, but, you know, I was trying to be respectful of her. So hopefully we'll get a better routine going soon. But until then, let's get to talking about what happened on last night's episode. So the men have the power, and y'all know how it goes when the men had the power. The women like to cut up. They like to go for each other. And it was no different this time. It was entertaining, actually. I am going to reserve a lot of my judgments and a lot of the things that I'm thinking about some of the people on this show. I'm going to reserve them until at least the 5th or 6th episode because I feel like we're still kind of in the getting to know you phase. And y'all know I like to try to be understanding of people until I get to know them because sometimes you judge it too quick and then you end up having to backpedal. So I don't want to backpedal. So I'm just going to wait. So because there was so much happening in the episode, we're going to talk about the mixer, then we're going to talk about the dates, and then we're going to talk about things that happened by the pool. Because there's a lot that happened by the pool. They did the s'mores by the pool, I think, or near that area. They had a pool party, and then they had another mixer, like, off near the patio area. So we're going to talk about that later. So first, let's talk about the mixer. Naya and Chris share a kiss, and I'll just go ahead and say, just go ahead and eliminate those two together. Let them ride off into the elimination sunset. Nobody will be mad. Nobody will be upset. It seems they found something in each other. They don't have any interest for anybody else in the house, seemingly. I don't see the problem. Eliminate them both. But anyway, they have their first kiss over by the bar. Meanwhile, Adriana borrows Calfani from Denise as they're playing pool. And I think Adriana did that to aggravate Denise because they have some tension that has carried over from the elimination night. But hey, this is still a competition. It's still the name of the game. And we can borrow whoever we want because that's not your man, right? So they go over and they have a conversation, and she wants to know if Calfani's interested because she's interested. And they're very close on the couch, and Denise does not like that. Duly noted. We're going to talk about Denise and Calfani later. So then, is that all that happened at the mixer? Yes. All right. So let's talk about the dates. All right. Also at the mixer, though, Alicia decides that she's going to go after Brian, which we'll talk about that too. So we go to the dates, and Winter and Jay go on a date. And the date was really cute. They were talking about gratitude and all of the stuff that they, just being thankful and the people they've become, and he likes that she pays attention to him and all of that. So the date was really nice. This is where Winter lost me, and this is where we're going to have problems with Winter. Winter's going to have to be secure in her position as she has with Jay. Jay obviously likes her. Jay obviously has some interest in her. This is an island type of situation, so unfortunately, you can see who all the men are dating. But it just kind of is what it is. You're going to have to be secure in your position and not worry about the other women that he's interested in or going out. Keep them in mind because that is your competition, but you can't be overly consumed with it. And I feel like she's getting to the point where she's going to be overly consumed. Even though it seems like she's trying not to, it's going to happen. So she says that it seems a lot of the guys are interested in Joy. Jay is also interested in Joy, and I'm wondering, do I kind of just need to fall back and let them do their thing? And I was just like, Winter, what competition show are you on? Like, do y'all play sports? Or forget the sports, do y'all play any type of game? Monopoly, Clue, Sorry, Uno. Do y'all play any type of games? This is a competition. When you play a Monopoly, do you halt the game because somebody got to go straight to jail and they got to stay there for 2 turns? Do y'all stop buying up the boardwalk? No, you keep playing the game. You keep getting money. You keep buying up property, and then when they get out of jail, they got to catch up. Not saying that Joy is in jail, but what I'm saying is you never stop the game for any reason. the game still goes. So no, you don't need to halt anything for Joy and Jay to have some special connection. If anything, you need to step it up. Don't step it back. Invade the space. Girl, what are you talking about stepping back? Every year we got to explain this to y'all. This is a competition. I'm not saying that I would be able to handle it because I wouldn't. But I didn't show up for the casting special. Y'all did. All right? We're going to move on. I feel like I'm reading. I said I wasn't going to do that, right? We move on. Edwin and Joy go on a date. Cute date. I feel like some of the ladies have been sleeping on Edwin. I don't know if it has to do with the fact that he's not as built as some of the other gentlemen or the fact that he has adult braces. But let me just tell you, when you take your adult braces off, your situation be real nice, okay? Y'all see mine, right? This is a product of adult braces because y'all been rocking with me for a minute. So some of y'all was here when I had braces. And now they're off. All right, so it's going to look real good when you take them off. But they had a cute date. Edwin compares her to a Maserati. She doesn't need a whole lot of advertisement because a Maserati does what a Maserati does and everybody knows. Okay, she just carries that charm, that appeal. And Joy does have an appeal. And one of the things that I can say about Joy, I think Joy is one of the women who is playing the game the way it's supposed to be played. She's not even real catty about it. She definitely has an interest in Edwin. They talk about mental health, but she also has an interest in Jay, and Jay seems to have one in her, just like Edwin has one in her. And so she realizes the benefit of not putting all of your time and effort into one person. And she also realizes that she can't be worried about what everybody is doing. And we're going to talk about how she does that when we get to talking about what happened at the towards the end of the episode, I guess the middle. All right, so cool. I like that date. Alex and Brian, Alexa, I think it's Alex. They go on a date, and that date was cute as well. They went paddle boarding. They shared some kisses at the end. They talk about his daughter, who is 3. I mean, that's kind of young. What's y'all age limit for dating men with children? Like, if the kids, it used to be for me, if the kids were under 3, it was kind of questionable, but you know, they could have broke up right when the girl got, I mean, I don't know, child. Let me not get in their business. What's y'all age limit for the children? But they are together and having a good time. They also talk about what her triggers are. One of her triggers, one of her hurdles that she's had to get over is her vulnerabilities, and that could be a problem in a relationship. When people turn their phone over, that is a trigger for her. My phone is pretty much always turned over, so I would trigger sis all the time if I was her woman. But she says that that's a trigger for her because it signifies to her that you're trying to hide something. So she ain't really feeling the turned over phones. And Brian, what's his name? Brian, he's always asking questions like he has cue cards. Like, they're playing a dating game and he just got the cards and say, well, how do you feel about this, this, and this? Like a couple's game night cards. But the date was cute. I thought the date went well, and he's really feeling her, so that's good. Brian and Alicia kind of go on a date, okay? After Alicia says that she's going to go after Brian, they sit down and they go by the pool. They have a conversation. That conversation stems around why she's ready for love, and she says she's tired of doing for everybody, being that woman for everybody and taking care of everybody, and then she has nobody to do it in return for her. Understandable. She says that her children are ready for somebody to come into her life. I feel like she could have asked Brian the same question. Shoot, he had some questions about step parents like he ain't got no daughter, right? But I guess maybe that's different to some people. It's like, y'all got to combine y'all situations, so it's the same thing. I like when people with kids get together because for some reason, now I love y'all folks with children. I don't care, but for some reason, some of y'all get upset when people say they don't want to date people who already got children. I mean, that's their right. They can do that if they want to. That's their right. I know divorces and separations and stuff happen, but hey, if people don't want to do it, they really don't have to do it, especially if they are younger in age as well. So yeah, but I like when y'all get together and combine them households and whatnot, because y'all know the struggle. Shoot, y'all know how it going. Y'all can just go through it together. But they talk about that. He likes the eye. Okay, he likes Alicia's "come F me" eyes. And he likes Alicia well enough, but I feel like it's more of a Alicia gives you no chase. You don't have to chase Alicia because she's gonna give it to you on a silver platter, and she does that throughout the episode. So you go in her room, she got snacks and stuff on it. First of all, that room was junky. That was the first thing. But she got snacks and stuff out, and she invites him to her room to watch a movie. Now these dates already ain't, they already cheap because they can't go nowhere, right? So it's the epitome of let's just meet up and chill. But now she's trying to have like a Netflix and chill type of situation inside of her room. I know somebody gonna be like, well, they grown. They are grown. They can do that if they want to. But what I'm saying is, it's the implication that it could possibly give off to somebody like Ryan. I feel like I'm saying his name wrong. And to me, I feel like it turned him off because he felt like something was being given to him and he didn't really have to work for it. Because some men, they like to do the work. And I don't know, it was just too easy. Like, you want me to come in here, you got snacks, you thicker than a Snicker, your clothes is fitted, you want me to get on this bed, you soft, you plush, you already know what I'm probably going to try to do, you looking at me like you want to do it too. So it's just like, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. So he goes back to Alex's room. Alex, she left the door open. I like that. Okay, let me let you know that ain't nothing going down in here. And he gives her a kiss and she tells him, thank you for stopping by. So I liked it. I liked the way she handled that. And he goes on about his business, but he doesn't go back to Alicia's room, even though he told her he was coming back in 20 minutes. And who's out there but Shay being nosy? It's time for her to go. She out there being nosy, so she tells Alicia that she saw them kissing at the room and he's not coming back in there. And so Alicia's pissed because you could have just kept it real. And he could have just kept it real, but Alicia, baby, at the same time, your approach ain't working for this competition. I have a feeling that she gonna be going next, right? So there's that. All right, so let's move it. Let's rewind. Let's go back to the stuff that was happening in between these days. So let's go to which situation do I want to hit first? Let's hit the situation between Denise and Calfani. Denise tells Calfani, I've been seeing you over there laughing in the face of somebody who's been laughing in everybody else's face. And I want to know what that's about. Like, are you feeling her? Because I've already dug my heels in with you. And he's just like, yeah, but it's a part of the game. I'm just going with the flow. I'm just being friendly the way the competition's supposed to go. And Denise is like, okay, well, I'm just letting you know if the gloves need to come off, they will come off. So basically, she gonna fight for hers because they came there to be chosen by a king. I'm gonna just move on. What other situations happen by the pool? All right. Rashid asked Edwin a question. Rashid asked Edwin a question. I think it was Rashid. About police brutality. Being a former police officer, are these things that we're seeing, have they been going on for a while? And Edwin says yes. He begins to break it down. Things that happen in Houston, things that happen to people of various income levels. He breaks it down, right? And maybe the conversation was getting long-winded. I don't know. But what I do know is that Shay gets up because she don't want to hear all this negativity. She came here for love and she ain't got time for that. She don't want to hear all this and that. I said, girl, what you came here for was stunts and shows. And while we appreciate it because we watch it, you can go on. You don't have a connection with anybody. You run around there telling business that ain't got nothing to do with you. You was on another reality show, gallivanting and carrying on. Couldn't find love over there. Now you over here. You can go ahead and go. All right. So she doesn't want to listen to Edwin talk about what he's talking about, even though Edwin was asked a question. It's not like he just started talking out the blue, but she wasn't feeling it. Edwin noted that she was saying little stuff here and there, and that further lets me know that she probably going home because Edwin gonna put her on the chopping block. That's fine. There's that. So also what happened at the pool is I'm actually holding on the Adriana and Denise. Before I go to that, let's go to Simone, Jay, and Joy. Jay and Joy are cuddling up under a blanket, having a nice little, s'mores, after s'mores time. And Simone comes over there because Simone saw an exchange between Jay and Winter. During the pool event, Winter's feeling some type of way about Jay and probably him flirting and carrying on. Like I said, she's going to have to work on that. And know her position is solid and let that just be that. But Jay takes her upstairs because they're going to talk about it. Now they go in her room and they close the door. Again, the implications behind it, it could be questionable. I don't think it was a good idea for them to go in that room and close the door if you don't want nothing to happen, because let me tell you, they might be strong and have plenty of willpower. But as for me, and baby, this flesh, you can't be coming up in here with that shirt off and, wet, and I got on a bathing suit and it's a bed in here and, you talking to me, you probably talking to me close, you scanning my body up and down, looking. Listen, the spirit is willing, but baby, the flesh is weak. I'm just being honest. Don't come up in here with that. But he said nothing happened, right? Because Simone wants to come over there. She saw it. She asked questions. Like, I saw you go in Winter's room. What really went down with that? So Joy is kind of caught off guard. Jay is caught off guard. And he looking at Simone like, you ain't even talked to me all day. But when you do talk to me, you coming over here with some drama. And Simone was just like, well, I just want to know. I mean, I was going to let her know anyway. So now I'm letting her know in front of you. So Joy kind of just takes Jay at his word. She's not really worried about it. Child, the powers that be don't want this review to get done. My camera just completely cut off. I guess that the spirit is willing comment. Maybe it was the Lord, honey. Maybe he wasn't having it. But I really like the way Joy carries herself. These are not my men. This is not my man. I can't be worried about what they doing. I just got what's done in the dark is going to come to the light. But I'm here to play the game. So that's what it is. And I like Joy for that reason. What else happened? Let's see. Are we ready to move to Ariana and Denise yet? Child, I guess so. Let's get into it. So, Ariana and Denise have had this tension that has been boiling over from the elimination night, and now it is carried on over into the remainder of these scenes and the remainder of the day. And they really needed to address the tension between the two of them beforehand, before all of this played out. But let's just get to what happened. So after the whole borrow situation and Adriana and Calfani are talking on the couch, Adriana goes to Rashid and tells Rashid the stuff that was said by Denise. And she asks Rashid, what are your interactions with her? Because she basically made some comments about you being narcissistic and that you was light-skinned and you was in a fraternity. Now, I know that y'all don't care for Denise. And I know that a lot of y'all was not feeling what she said. And I understand that. Some of the stuff that she was saying, I was just like, that seems a little misplaced, right? But I don't go based off of who likes who. I go off of what I see. And I'm going to have to say that I don't believe Adriana, when she told Rashid that, it may have looked like she was just looking out for Rashid. But I feel like she was trying to get something started. And this is why I feel that way. But it's the way she went about it, okay? So I have 2 points. And I got sub points after the 2 points, okay? So I got bullet points and I got many points inside the bullet point. So bullet point number 1. If she was indeed looking out for Rashid, I would have believed it if ... A, she would have had a conversation with Denise beforehand, which maybe she did. Maybe she did, because there was a scene where they had a conversation and it could have been edited weird, but I don't think so. I think she talked to Rashid first and talked to Denise second. So that's 1 point. If she would have talked to her beforehand and then went to Rashid. B, if when she talked to Rashid, she would have mentioned it all. Okay, in the words of Bethany Franklin, mention it all when you talk about it. Because Denise wasn't the only one who had an issue. She just had the strongest feelings about Rashid. But other people thought he was, he wasn't really being himself. They thought he was kind of leading with his money, not really, trying to impress them with like a bankroll instead of being himself. Like, a lot of people felt some type of way about Rashid. So she could have mentioned all of the ways that the ladies felt. I mean, he was in the bottom, so he know people was feeling some type of way. And then she could have brought up in a very maybe in a more general sense, like, oh, what are your interactions with Denise? Because she felt pretty strongly. Out of all the ladies, I feel like she felt the strongest. So I was wondering what your interactions were with her, because I want you to stay here. I like you, and I'm looking out for you, and I just want to make sure that you're putting the Rashid I know out there, right? It could have went like that, but that's not really how it went. It kept going to the light skin. It was what she said though. Now she didn't lie about what she said. She did say that, so I can't say that she changed her words. And point C, baby, I forgot what point C was, but I think I had a point C. Okay, well I don't know what point C was, and that was one of my bullet point list. My second point, though, okay, after point 1 A and B, my point 2 is men and women handle stuff differently. Men and women handle gossip differently. So by going to Rashid and telling him that, even if you were looking out, the response that a man would have could cause something a much more dramatic to happen, and the drama would end up making him look bad because he is going to approach a woman. That's how it always happens in those situations. Even if you right in what you're saying, when you go to approach the woman, it always kind of make you look like, the B word, right? When you go into, and it's because men are more direct. They're going to go directly to the source. So you really could have caused more of a issue between those two, depending on how he went at it. Not saying he's that type, but it could have went there, and it would have had him looking some kind of way, right? Because he would have been the man in that situation. So again, it's because of where it could have led to with you doing that. That was the issue for me. It's the same issue I had with Real Housewives of Atlanta. The women would go to their men and tell the men stuff that happened, but when the men responded, they wouldn't want their men responding to these women. So it's just like, but you know how men handle things, so you probably don't need to go to him with certain information, especially in the way that you give it to him. So that was my thing. And then she mentioned it in front of Simone and Edwin, and even though Simone already knew about it, now you got Edwin looking at Denise some type of, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of just, it gets spread around, right? It gets spread around. So she could have pulled him to the side, and anyway, I felt like she was trying to stir it up a little bit. And she did. And she did. So Rashid didn't appreciate it. He doesn't want to be objectified by his characteristics or his body, just like women don't want to be objectified. They do have a discussion about colorism. I watch a lot of colorism stuff, so I know how it goes. I won't get into the breakdowns, but you did notice when they were having a conversation that light-skinned women and light-skinned men experience colorism differently. They do not experience it the same. And dark-skinned women and dark-skinned men experience colorism differently. I noticed that as they were speaking. So that part was interesting as well. We move forward. Adriana and Denise do end up eventually having a conversation. It's a lot of back and forth. Denise, I think that how she was coming at Adriana, I think she knew that Adriana had already said something. Now, we don't know that for sure. But she was kind of coming at Adriana like, why are you checking me? Why? Because that's your man? That's your man? Because you coming over here checking me? And they had like a back and forth where Adriana really could not get a word in. But once she was able to get a word in, they finally got to the point where I wish they would have got to a long time ago, because I don't want to see these two women arguing. That's not what I watched the show for. I don't want to see that. And that was just Denise keeping it real about her situation. I don't know why she couldn't have done that from jump. And not saying she owes anybody her story, but if you're going to be bringing up that somebody reminds you of your past, then you need to explain that. I don't see the problem. So she explains to Adriana about the triggers, about the fact that she was held hostage for 4 days, and about the fact that Rashid reminds her of her ex. And Adriana was like, cool, I get it now. You had a negative experience and he reminded you of that. Now, Adriana still doesn't think it's fair that she's using her past experience to judge Rashid, but she gets it a little bit better now. Then, after it's all over, Adriana gets up, tells Rashid what they talked about. Again, I know, maybe y'all don't have a problem with it, but I just don't see why. And then Rashid is like, that's my ride or die. She went and did that for me. No, No, you got something to do with it, but I really think she was just sick of the tension between her and Denise. And who wants to be going at it with some girl when they there trying to get a man? I don't. Let's squash this between us so we can focus on what we really came to do. It's probably more of the situation, but fine, honey. He gonna get on his London and his ride or die talk. So we got us another divine on the scene. But yeah, I just feel like even when she went to Rashid, like, don't tell nobody business. Just say, she let me know what her triggers were and why you triggered her, and I'll let her explain that to you if you all ever get a chance to talk or discuss it. It's not really my place to tell you everything that went, that's her personal stuff that went on. I don't know if I should really tell you that. But again, maybe she just felt like she was making it clear to Rashad. I'm willing to see that side too, but I don't know. He probably don't even care either way, child, because he not interested in Denise. So it's fine. But y'all let me know what y'all thought about the situation. That was pretty much everything that happened in the show. I hope I'm not missing anything. I predict that Alicia and Simone, nope. Alicia and what's her name? Shay are probably going to get eliminated on this next episode because they're not really connecting with anybody. And that's fine. Those two can go. It's unfortunate, but okay. We got to move on to the people who are ready. And y'all let me know what y'all thought about the episode. How did you feel about the situation between Adriana and Denise? Do you think it's over or do you think more is to come? I think more is to come. Who is your favorite right now on the show? Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all for the next one. Bye.